Good morning, Fort McMurray, with Buffalo and the rest of the world. You've tuned in to the Mac City Morning Show. I am your host, Elliot Pierre, and we're going to start this episode off the same way we start every episode off, with a moment of gratitude. I know you could be doing a million other things with your time, and the fact that you spend it with us truly does mean the world to me, so thank you. On that note, Tanner, hit him with the intro.
Hey, it's Keith Simpson here. I'm the general manager of Norel Toyota, soon to be Fort McMurray Toyota. Pretty excited for our new dealership. We're here to take care of you. Come on down and be part of our family.
And we are back. Big shout out to Norel Toyota, our title sponsor for today's episode. I really do appreciate your ongoing support. As everybody at home knows, I do not introduce my guests because they can do a better job of that than myself. So can you please tell everybody at home who you are and what you're about?
So my name is Lindy. I am the VP of Clinical Operations for Impact Health. So Impact Health, we're one of the fastest growing physiotherapy clinics currently in the province of Alberta. And this is one of our newest additions to the team.
Oh, very cool. So how many clinics do you guys have under your belt?
I want to say officially this is 12 or 13 at this point, but there's always a little bit of a fluctuation transition period.
Yeah, so. I know Pram's on the road right now. That number might fluctuate a little bit more today.
Yeah, I never know. Sometimes I find out all of a sudden there's a new one to add to the list.
Yeah. So how did you get involved with this organization?
I've been with the company since 2019.
Okay.
So I did join them in kind of their head office location. I live in Cold Lake, Alberta. And before I moved to the province, I did work in physio clinics in Ontario. I have a kinesiology degree and just really enjoy kind of the problem solving and management side of things at the clinics, and have helped them grow the company from where they were then to what we've become now.
Nice. So when you were going to school, they taught the management aspect, and
no.
Or did you yeah.
That's something I've kind of learned along the way throughout different positions that I've held with different companies. So some retail locations, big ones like FGL Sports. I worked for Sport Check for a little while, did do some management training with them. I worked in one of the banks for a little while as well, so got to learn kind of some of the money financial side of things. And I think just bringing it all together between customer service, management, scheduling, and then learning kind of that financial side as well has really kind of helped encompass everything that I do in the position right now.
Yeah, very cool. So when you were going into kinesiology originally, what was the dream? What did you think the career aspirations were going to be? Yeah,
so my goal definitely was to be involved in the rehab side of things with patients. So at the time I was working in a sports medicine clinic as part of a university. I've always been really big into sports and athletics myself all the way growing up, so I knew it was something that I wanted to still continue with. At the time, there's a little bit of, again, a transition with the career of kinesiology. They've since created regulated bodies and things like that. So when I graduated, that wasn't all developed yet, so I wasn't quite sure exactly where I was going to go. If I was going to go on and take my master's and try to pursue something like physiotherapy myself.
Right.
I did actually marry into the military world.
Oh.
So that did change things up a little bit, just because we've moved a couple of times.
Yeah.
So it's hard to kind of settle into any one school, for example, and try to pursue that.
Right.
But since then we've been in the province now since 2018 and kind of settled into an area. So.
How are you liking Alberta?
Love it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm not quite on the Ontario bandwagon yet. That's still home for me, but we go home now to Ontario to visit, and Alberta really is home.
Oh, cool. So, what part of Ontario?
Just near London, Ontario.
Okay.
So a small farming community.
Okay. Nice. And so Alberta, you're like pro Alberta, like you like
we
the
like
vibe
Alberta.
here.
Yeah, we like the lifestyle here. We're in a small community like this, smaller than this, Cold Lake, and it's been great for raising young kids. It has everything that we need there, and kind of that community feel. So.
Yeah, I grew up going to Toronto often in the summertime. A lot of my family's there.
Yeah.
And so I went back this summer with my kid to Toronto and to like Niagara on the lake area, and like I love Toronto and I love Ontario, and like it's a vibe, and I love it. That being said, I don't know if I could live in it.
Exactly. It's great to visit. It's great to experience.
Yeah.
We go and try to take the kids to things like Ripley's Aquarium.
Oh, cool.
And get them onto some of the GO trains and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's an adventure. It's great to go and visit. But this is something for us. So.
The last time, like literally this summer, we had time before our plane late in the evening. So I was like, oh, let's go to the aquarium. Let's go check out the CN Tower. And then we'll just drive from there right to the airport.
Yeah, to Pearson.
That drive has changed so much. I was driving through literal buildings. Like, apartment buildings are through the
Built
401.
over top.
It's
it's
wild.
crazy. Yeah, every time we go home too, we notice the expansion. And we're home about once a year, and even then it's huge.
Yeah.
There's just too many people, if you ask me.
Yeah. It's like living, honestly, and it's not this extreme, but the last time I was there, it's like living in the Jetsons. I was like, oh, I'm a Jetson here. Like, this is the future. This is how we're building cities in Canada now. Like, all right, cool. Like,
Multi-layer freeways and things like that. Yeah.
It's beautiful. Like, very different from what it was years ago.
Right.
And like what you're seeing, like you say, yearly you're seeing growth.
Yeah, for sure. And even in the areas like the community I grew up in was a small farming community. It's now a bedroom community for a larger city. So even the vibe there has completely changed. And the same with where my husband grew up. So just we're an expansion.
Yeah. And what are all your family still lives there, I'm assuming?
So now I have a sister in Calgary. So she was out west before I was.
Okay.
My mom and my brother are still in the Ontario area. My in-laws are still in that area.
Okay, so you do have some family.
Some
Don't
family
fly
up
back
here.
all
Yeah,
the
we're
time.
trying to convince a few more of them to come out this direction.
Yeah, they don't think you're as crazy. I was just gonna ask, like, how crazy do they think you're out here? But if there's two of you, at least you bear the.
Yeah, and even things my in-laws used to ask all the time, when are you coming back to Ontario? But every time they were here, they would go out for a walk and come home and comment how nice everybody is. We're like, you're saying this, why would we ever want to come, like, move back to Ontario? So they see it now as well. They realize why we're out here.
Yeah.
They see the community that we found and the lifestyle that we have. So, yeah.
And you've been in Cold Lake for a minute too.
Yeah, 2018.
So
We're coming up on 7 years.
I've spent some time in Cold Lake. It's nice. It's like, it's quiet.
Yep.
It's very quiet. So you're here, is this your first trip to Fort McMurray?
This is my first trip. I actually just landed in Fort Mac about 15 minutes ago.
Okay, so I was gonna be like, hey, what have you seen? But you've seen nothing.
Nothing. I've seen the highway in basically with the help of Google Maps, and that's also great.
Okay. So talk to me a little bit about Cold Lake then. So
Okay.
what's it like there? Because when I grew up, I thought Fort McMurray was the smallest place on the planet.
Right.
That being said, then I went to other communities across the world, and Cold Lake happened to be one of them. Like, oh no, you guys are smaller.
Yeah. The one thing that I think Cold Lake has that's special is there's so many people there that are kind of transients. They come and go based on the military, based on the oil field work. So everybody in Cold Lake tends to build their own community. They build their family when you get there. So, for example, my kids have adopted grandparents up and down our street. There's multiple nanas and grandpas and just people that have become our family since living there, because everybody's in the same boat. Everybody essentially is away from their family. Not many people were born and raised there.
Right.
So it's always neat to hear everybody else's story of what brought them to the area. But like I said, it's got everything you need. Because of that, the city's put a lot of time and effort into making sure there's everything you need there to raise a family and to be fairly self-sustaining. So we've got a ski hill, we've got multiple hockey rinks, we've got cheer teams and gymnastics and dance and soccer and kind of all the sports that kids could want to be exposed to begin with.
Yeah, that's so cool. So Fort McMurray has all of those too. It's just like, we used to be small like that,
Yeah.
but the like
I know,
expansion
I was
happens.
surprised when I looked at the population the other day of what Fort McMurray was. So
Yeah, it used to be boonies back in the day. When I grew up here in the 80s, like,
yeah.
boondocks. Like, nobody knew where it was. There was like, the Highway 63 was not what it is now.
Yeah.
It's like,
I
yeah.
wasn't sure what I was going to be coming up on the way up,
Yeah.
but what that Highway 63 was definitely nice to travel. The divided highway all the way up. So
Are you going to be spending, how much time do you think you're going to be
just a
spending?
couple days for this trip. So this
Okay.
is kind of my first trip up, and just kind of see what's going on, what kind of plans we can develop, and things that we can implement just to help out, just
Yeah.
to benefit everybody that's here.
So when it comes to physical therapy, why have you chosen to work in that field?
I think a big part of it, especially like when I went in to study kinesiology, a lot of it, people think about the rehab side of things, but there's also a big preventative side as well.
Oh, okay.
So balance therapy for our aging population, for example. It's just one of those healthcares that I don't know if it's accessible enough to everybody that's out there. Not everybody's aware of the things that physiotherapy can treat. So like I said, with our aging population, we can help with balance and do fall risk assessments to keep them in their homes as long as possible, keep them self-sufficient. Also things like vertigo and vestibular treatments. A lot of people think that if they're having those dizzy spells and vertigo that they need to be going to the doctor and be put on medication. Oftentimes that's not the case. It's kind of a simple maneuver followed up with some exercises that we can assist with as well. So I think a lot of people think of the main like, oh, I've sprained my ankle, I need to go to physio, I need to do exercises, but there's so much more that it can do as well, and just kind of incorporate that into a healthcare regime so it's not always based on pharmaceuticals and having to go to the doctor and things like that.
Nice, awesome. Well, listen, that man tapped his watch, so that means we were out of time. But before I cut you loose, everybody gets a shameless shout out or plug. So you have the mic, the camera, the lights. Have fun.
I think my shout out would just have to be to the rest of the Impact Health team that's across the province. This is our most northern location at this point, but we do go all the way down to Coaldale, which is down near Lethbridge. So we are spread out over, I'm going to say, about 3/4 of the province at this point. So just shout out to the entire team that's out there.
Awesome, awesome. Well, for McMurray Wood Buffalo and the rest of the world, that's been another episode of the Mac City Morning Show. From the bottom of my heart, thank you very much for tuning in. Big shout out to our title sponsor, Noral Toyota, as well as Carrie from Patchouli Rose, and the beautiful people at Coldwell Banker. Hope everybody at home is having a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace. There you go. Good job.
Hi everyone, it's Carrie with Patchouli Rose here at Thickwood Barbershop. If you're wondering what to get your loved one this season for Valentine's Day, I make an all-natural anti-aging skin serum called Good Skin. It's good for men and women, and it's available for purchase here at the barbershop, downtown at the Corridor Shops and Events, and on my website. Thank you for your support.
Talk about quenching your ugly thirst.